Good evening, NGS family. Welcome to a wonderful Monday night. I am joined with my co-caster today, Malios, and I am Creeper Spot, bringing you guys another Storm Division game. Malios, how are you feeling today?
I'm feeling quite good. Looking forward for some Storm League games.
Exactly. So tonight's matchups features two very, not perhaps not doing so well teams at the moment. We have on the home team tonight is Anti-Clown Association, and on the away team we have Error 404. Now, for those who actually are keeping up with the standings and the numbers with the Storm Division, you may be thinking, wait a second, isn't maybe like both of them like in the very lower echelon of the standings? That is true. They are indeed in the lower echelons of the standing, but do not let that fool you, because if you do look at the matches they have played, they essentially have both played against the top three teams, and those top three teams have basically gone maybe very minimal losses, if not any losses at all. So that shouldn't really dissuade any hopes for either team, but that does not mean that tonight's match isn't important. Tonight's match really kind of signifies which team is going to be making a good push for the playoffs. So both teams really want to get this win tonight, kind of propel themselves for the final few stages games of the season. So we are going to be joining the lobbies and have the game ready for you in just a moment. But while we wait, let's take a look at the maps for this evening as I bring it up on this view. Error 404 has won the coin flip, so they have opted for the first pick option. So therefore, Anti-Clown Association has gone ahead and banned Sky Temple and Alterac Pass. And Error 404 has decided to ban Garden Terror and Volskaya Foundry. So with the map pick, Anti-Clown Association has opted to go for the Dragonshire pick. Now, what are your thoughts of this map selection, Malios? Is there anything that needs to be taken note of when you're playing on this sort of style of play?
Well, right off the bat, Dragonshire is a map which requires a lot of macro play as well as camp clear. My apologies. It also has a requirement of needing a really strong bruiser to be able to withstand and hold their ground in the top lane, so that at least one objective will be able to be kept in one side of the teams.
That is right. So definitely got to be keeping up with the point pressure. Of course, Dragonshire isn't really known for having like very early objectives. In fact, you probably see a lot of games, especially in the higher skill stealing games, where the game has perhaps gone for like maybe like until level 13s before the first objective's actually been captured. So we're definitely going to be expecting a lot of macro play. Should both teams be relatively even in their gameplay in the early stages of the game?
Yep, that's a good point, Creep, because this map rarely ends before the level 20 mark, unlike other maps, like such as Towers of Doom, which has the chance to end really early on if one team snowballs. Or like Brax's Holdout, same issue at hand. This map is a map which consists will likely see a very long game.
Indeed, we will. So, for those who are just joining in right now, we are just waiting for the lobbies to be finalized, and then we'll be ready to get into this game. I am aware. I am aware that the stream title is not telling of the proper information, so we'll have that fixed in a short moment of time. But let's bring it back to the caster view now. Um, so because this is a Dragonshire map and it's likely to go late game, what kind of picks are you expecting to see here, Malios? I'm sure that we have a bit of time to talk about this before we get into our game.
Oh, well, right off the bat, since this is like a longer game, not necessarily a requirement, but teams tend to like picking heroes which they could stack quite well with, like Cassia Q build, Zul'jin in general. These are just heroes that scale really well into the late game, like Nazebo perhaps even, although maybe not we'll see him being banned during the draft. Like we've mentioned earlier, a really strong solo lane being taken up is also really important, such as Rexar being like a very popular pick nowadays. And Sonya also making a resurgence after not seeing that much play for a little bit, but yeah, I'm looking forward for this game.
Yeah, excited I am. So it seems like We're just waiting on one member. Yeah, so we're waiting on one member on the side of Air 404, and then we can definitely get this game underway. So just hold on tight, ladies and gentlemen, while we the final member to show up. Now let's actually talk about the map bans. So I'm gonna bring up the map ban view. Sky Temple and Alterac are the bans on Anti-Clown Association, so that kind of probably signifies they're not very comfortable playing on big maps. But they do have Cursed Hollow up, so maybe they, if Area 404 does get the map, they probably take it to Cursed Hollow if they've done their research. Now, this is just based off what I have seen as of now. So, of course, any of these analysis could not be accurate. And on the other side, Area 404 banning Garden Terra and Volskaya. Now, I think Garden of Terra is kind of like this map that nobody really likes to play on. I'm pretty sure, Malio, so you don't like playing this map either, right?
Garden Terror is definitely a decisive map, which can snowball out of control, especially since this objective is actually quite strong. Because like literally all 3 lanes are being pushed with like a tower disabling like monster.
Yeah, I mean, definitely with the new Garden of Terra objective, it's definitely makes the objective so much stronger. So, I mean, I don't like playing Garden of Terror myself, but on the other hand, Volskaya being banned, and Volskaya is actually one of the maps I like playing a lot. So, I guess what this really means that they don't like oppressive objectives. I think that's what Air 404's bans kind of tones down to, because Volskaya is very, very strong as well. You know, having a 2-man objective actually sometimes do quite a bit of damage. Well, I know some teams don't like it as well because you're essentially living with a 3v4 situation at the best.
Yeah, it also signified that Error 404 has done their scouting, and perhaps the team of Anti-Clown Association actually prefers to play these maps. So we'll see what happens from here on out.
It's most definitely. I'm kind of wishing that I see BOE tonight. I like BOE as a map as well. And
BOE is fun to watch.
yeah, BOE is definitely fun to cast, and hopefully it's fun for you guys to watch as well in the chat. But yeah, how's chat doing? Guys, let me know in chat how you guys are feeling tonight. I'm definitely stoked to see this match. I definitely expect this to be a very close set, actually. Even though Era 404 really hasn't gotten too many map wins throughout the season, I definitely think this is probably one of their best chances of actually grabbing some points and perhaps even a set win. That could definitely propel them to a better spot during the playoffs.
Definitely. Nothing is set in stone until we get the ball rolling. So, yeah, we're all looking forward for the matches to come.
Yeah, we're just waiting. Like I said, we're just waiting on one more. We have a sort of issue with the sub, but I'm sure that's going to be fixed relatively soon. So just hang on tight, guys, while we sort this out. Hopefully this doesn't go maybe like for another 5 minutes. I think they probably are refined enough to get a sub going in really soon. But yeah, I mean, we don't really have much else to talk to about these two teams before we actually get into the game. So I don't know. What should we talk about? Let's talk about how we probably should get a rework. How does that sound? I don't know how they would ever rework Probius.
Oh, we're talking about Probius now?
Yo, I don't know. There's nothing to talk about. Let's just talk about Probius. Do you think? Okay, how do you think they should rework Probius? If they even can.
Good question, to be honest. Well,
Like-
right off the bat, if you like look at his StarCraft 2 kit, I'm just looking at the pro by the way. Like he makes more than just pylons and cannons. So I don't know, maybe they could like turn him into a support hero?
Support Probius? That
Like,
actually
we
sounds
need more
kind of.
supports.
Actually, doesn't even sound that bad of an idea, but like.
It's better than Range Assassin, in my books.
That's for sure, yeah. Definitely is lacking a lot of tools to make him good in range
It's
assassin
difficult
department.
though, because like you have to deviate quite far from the source material in order to make him that like much better. Because in StarCraft, he literally just built stuff.
It builds stuff indeed, yeah. I mean, that's literally all you have to do. He's
Looks like we're a
like
full team
it's
now.
like putting SCV in the game. You know, SCVs just build as well. I guess they can repair. Yo, imagine if SCVs can kind of have a
Healer.
meal ability.
Healer ability. I'm not sure why Abathur has a meal.
That is
Like,
true. That is
I
true.
know it's a generic ability from a long time ago, but I feel like they should change it up, like since then.
I mean, we're not. I mean, there's too many things to fix. I think there's a lot of heroes that deserve reworks.
Too much to fix. Priorities.
Yeah, there's too many heroes that need reworks in my opinion. So, but enough about Provius. Enough about Provius. We are actually about to get ready to start our game. All 10 members are present and ready to go. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're about to get into the draft for the very first game tonight. Shortly. I don't know why they haven't started the lobby yet, because everybody's ready. And there we go, ladies and gentlemen. We are ready to get this show underway with the draft on Dragonshire. Now, as always, Era 404 does have the first pick advantage. So we shall see exactly what they're going to be locking in as first. As mentioned by Melios in the beginning, we're probably going to see the Nazebo ban or pick phase.
Another hero we forgot to mention, which could be very prominent here, two of them actually, are Dahaka and Brightwing. Brightwing being an obvious pick because she could teleport literally across the map to help with the solo laner, as well as Dahaka just being a really strong solo laner and very competitive, being able to also burrow around the map, forcing a 4v5 bot if the situation arises.
Stitch's ban coming out, which was preceded by the Lucio ban. Now, I do like the Lucio ban, very, very strong AoE healer who also has a very potential with the high five to really help out a person in need. And then therefore the Stitches also gets banned as well. Also a very good tank, lots of healing and lots of self-sustain, as well as his hook is really the bare minimum for his kit.
Yep, it's also important to realize that Stitches is often paired with a lot of also really strong heroes such as Medivh and Junkrat to be able to propel their combo further.
Here comes the Vala ban, and no surprise there, really just a strong, impressive DPS. And of course, Junkrat also gets banned as well. His point control and objective control on this map is definitely very prioritized.
Junkrat's trap build is disgusting on this map.
Exactly. It's
like, there's only really two entryways into the objective, and both of them are bushes. So, like, literally, you can have one trap in either side of the bush, or you can just put both of them in one side, and you'll be able to keep your opponent off or set up a combo.
Yes, indeed, Junkrat, of course, just so much point control, so much objective control, but we're going to see the Sylvanas lock in first. Of course, Sylvanas has always been a very strong DPS, especially her pushing power is insane with her the ability to disable structures. So no surprise really there for Sylvanas. Rexxar being picked up here as well.
Rexxar is a very strong soul laner, but it's important to keep in mind that they will most likely ban the Deathwing in the third round phase, because Deathwing is the best counter to Rexxar in the soul lane.
You think they'll pick up Deathwing right now?
Potentially. The side on the left has already picked their solo laner, so now is actually pretty much a prime time to choose their solo laner.
That's not a solo laner. Actually, it could be a solo lane Mei.
I don't think so, dude.
Maybe in another universe.
If you tried hard enough.
Yeah, but instead we're going to see the Mei and Brightwing, of course the Stukov being locked on the other side. So far, really no surprises to the draft. I mean, Stukov being very good burst healing, and of course, even though he is cleanseless in the sort of way, he has so much healing and so much disengage as well with his ultimates. So that's a really good pick as well. Mei and Brightwing are also really good picks as well. As Melius mentioned, the ability to really teleport anywhere on the map makes Brightwing a very prominent hero. Of course, I am well aware that Zadie's Brightwing is very, very good, and so I'm really no surprise even more now that I really think about it. And of course, Mei is just a great tank as well. Good initiation, good really setups, a lot of kills, and just a lot of self-sustain as well.
Well, let's look at the bans real fast. The Hogger ban I found was pretty interesting because, from my understanding, I believe that if both sides play equally, the Rexxar should still win.
Hogger, I think, is not more so of the solo lane capability, but rather just ability to disrupt a team fight and just really be such a harassment.
That's true. It's also true that this map has a lot of choke points where he could just spin around in.
Well, we see the Murden ban, of course Murden being a really strong tank, but let's talk about the picks now, being the Chromie and the Anubrak. That's a very, very spicy two picked up here by Anti-Clown Association.
Yeah, but it's definitely like a really strong comp going on for the side of Anti-Clown. Like Anubrak just being a really solid tank right now, with Anubrak's beta build, which is really prominent nowadays, being able to soak up a lot of the skill shots, and Chromie's just really good poke.
Let the games begin.
Okay. Alright. There's a lot to talk about here. Let's talk about the Medivh first. So, The Medivh, kind of actually a standard pick here. You see there's a lot of burst potential on the side of Anti-Clown Association, with the Anubarak, Stukov, and Chromie combo. Really, it's going to be a lot of damage in a short period of time. So having Medivh being able to negate all that damage is something that I kind of expected. So it's a very good pickup there. But we're talking about the Wandering Samurai, Samuro. Ooh, what are your thoughts on this?
Well, it's definitely an interesting solo pick choice. So is the Phoenix pick on the side of Anti-Clown as well. Okay, there is a lot to talk about. Right off the bat, Medivh also makes up for the lack of mobility on the side of Error 404. Like, all of Brightwing can, teleport, once in a while. But without it, she's actually quite vulnerable before 10. So that teleport and portal will actually help the side of Error 404 rotate across the map as well.
Yeah, so with the Phoenix pick locked in, it's kind of more of the unorthodox picks coming out in the very last picks for both teams, Samuro and Phoenix. Not something you see every day. With this contribution, who do you think actually has a better comp here?
If we're talking purely on the cohesiveness of the comp, I'll have to give it to Anti-Clown, purely because their damage potential is just much higher. Despite the Medivh protection and just the ability to negate burst damage, outside of burst, they still have Phoenix, which has a surprising amount of DPS associated with that hero. Phoenix we don't see very often, purely because of his trade-off between range and damage. But in this case, range doesn't matter too much, given the type of comp that Error 404 is running.
Yeah, so we're going to get into the game here, ladies and gentlemen. On the left, we have Anti-Clown Association. Gottfield's going to be playing the Phoenix. Valimar going to be on the Stukov. Caesar Salad going to be playing the Nubarak. Kelsier 30k going to be playing the Chromie. And Dudabide's going to be playing the Rexar.
And on the right, we have Error 404. With the Brightwing, we have Zadie. Sylvanas with Breakwood. Pepper with May. Funds with Samuro, and Mercy on Medivh.
Now we're going to see both teams walk towards the middle, but we're going to see Samuro kind of hover to the top, and you see actually Error 404 opting to go towards the bottom side of the map. Kind of trying to see if there's any way they can kind of sneak out of structure with the Sylvanas passive. But really nothing else could really be found here. They have a portal set up, and actually let's talk about the level 1s with the portal mastery specifically from the Medivh.
It's a relatively standard talent. But hold on, as we have
yeah, so here we go. May's going to be looking for something onto this Phoenix, but the re-engage from the Nubarak means he's going to be able to get onto this, but the Pepper is going to be able to protect it from the Mercy's shield. But Pepper is still taking a lot. First Blood instantly going to the side of Anti-Clown Association. He doesn't have his Ice Block, so May really thought that she was going to be safe, but without that Unstoppable and that extra shield gained from Retreat, she is not actually very tanky, so she goes down, unfortunately, very First Blood very early on in the game.
Yeah, May extended that fight, and she shouldn't have stayed there as long as she did.
Bit of an unfortunate circumstance there. So, of course, early kills really don't mean as much as later kills. So it's only going to be a small, a small loss.
It's basically a wave.
Yeah,
of XP.
Maybe at most 3 caster minions, stuff like that. So really no surprise. Oh, here comes a beautiful engage onto the Zadie here. Zadie's in trouble here. But he's able to get out thanks to the good May disengage. And now it looks like who's in trouble. Caesar Salad's here. But here comes a re-teleport and the re-engage. Breakers really want this. And yeah, he's going to get it with the Brightwing teleport. But he's going to pay with his life. Pepper's in a bad spot as well. Gottfield's going to be chasing down this Medivh. Want to get his reset on his stacks as badly as possible. But realizing he doesn't have the space or damage, he decides to back off.
Man, Stukov got so much value from that fight. He was able to slow the Sylvanas to 80% and just slap her twice, and she just ended up falling from that.
Yeah, I mean it was a trade, and luckily Breakwood did get the kill. If he didn't get the kill, that would have been catastrophic. But speaking of, that is what we call a 2-minute objective.
It's just Rexar things.
Yeah,
even was top, couldn't do anything about it.
Well, he killed Misha on top lane, so that's something.
Eventually.
Now we did talk about how in the pregame that getting objective very early on this map is very unconventional, actually, in high levels of play. So seeing this 2-minute objective take, what are your thoughts on the rest of this game that you might be seeing from both teams, really?
Well, I don't feel like we should judge just purely off of this objective, because remember, this is literally a 2-minute objective, which isn't very strong. You see, they took a front gate, and it's basically already going to fall. But we will, and Samurai will probably have more opportunities to take down Rexar's Misha. So we'll see how the rest of the game goes.
Oh.
I believe that things will be different going forward.
Misha gets the stun on Breakwood, but he is just a bear. He can't really do too much. Fun's trying to look for something here. Being real sneaky with the Samuro, of course, but he's not able to find too much opportunities. Of course, gonna wait till the late game, really, before Fun's is able to do really as much as he really wants. Inside, we look at the bot lane. We have Pepper and Kelsey are really going at it, just soaking away. Not too much is going to be seen here as well. And we're going to see both teams start on the Bruiser camp. So while we have this downtime, let's talk about the level 4s picked up from both teams here.
Well, let's talk about Samuro right off the bat. Normally for Samuro, you usually go Way of the Wind, which is usually that E talent, which makes you stealth and move much faster. But instead, he opted for Way of Illusion. And the reason for this is that Misha is like basically a standing target when holding the point, so he's able to stack that much more easily than he normally should be. Like right now he has 27 stacks, which is normally very difficult to get at this point of the game.
Yeah, of course Misha always lending a helping hand when infinite stacking quests. Well, not infinite stacking, but just stacking quests in general makes it very easy sometimes. But that's the price you pay for having an extra member technically on your team.
Yeah, something else to note is actually Phoenix is level 7, being Warfare. But hold on to that.
Yeah, so Caesar Sal's looking for an engage here, but Dash didn't find anybody with the stun. Goffield's doing a lot of damage with his strafing, and Zadie's going to look like he's going to go down. Looks like he'll be able to get out in time, and Goffield barely lives as well thanks to the Stukov healing. It looks like Fun's is taking a lot of damage with his auto attacks onto Valimar, but Valimar's going to be okay as well, pops his passive. Everybody's back to full health. Now Spell Armor really doing a lot to really both teams in saving. Once again, Caesar Sal looking for an engage. This time actually missing out on the Medivh. Now he's going to pay for a little bit of damage onto the bear, I think, but Fun's really can't do much until he gets his power spike. One thing I do want to note is that we're actually seeing the solo lane of Chromie versus Mei. Now this isn't something you see conventionally, and also unconventionally, it's in the bottom lane on Dragon Shower. Usually you see two bruisers going at it, and I unfortunately missed 2 kills here. Looks like Samuro, I think Samuro assassinated Phoenix. I unfortunately missed that, Malios. Is that what happened?
He basically went from behind and took him out, but at the same time got cut out by Stukov.
I see. I mean, when you're silenced, there's not really too much you can do to switch to your other clones. Now, actually, this is 1-for-1 is actually beneficial to the side of Error 404, because like I said, Samuro really wants to accelerate to the late game stage of the game. It's because Chromie falls off, and I've said like even Rexar kind of falls off in the late game. So getting Samuro and I guess Medivh is kind of late game as well. So getting those two to the late game stages is really to Era 404. So any trades at this point would work out really relatively well.
Yeah, I agree for the most part. And it's also important to take to note like the all-in comp that Anti-Clown has. With Phoenix's takedown talent level 7, being able to, when he dives in with his teleport, whenever he gets a takedown, it resets that cooldown. And it gives him 175% extra attack speed.
Yeah, so we're going to have level 10s locked in on the side of Anti-Clown Association, but I think Era 404 is going to once again drop the Dragon Knight. Unfortunately, Samuro wasn't able to get the cap in the top lane, and once again, we get an early Dragon. Once again, 6 minutes for 2 Dragons is actually really unheard of in most stages of the game.
Yeah, unfortunately, Anti-Clown still had the level 10 talent, being able to take it while they had the talent advantage.
So yeah, we're just see the Dragon Knight sieging down the mid lane. You're gonna see Sylvanas getting kicked out. So you don't want the DPS doing too much to the Dragon Knight. Of course, there's Phoenix in there, so there's not gonna be a lot of retaliation in DPS. Caesar Sal's in an awkward spot, but he does have his burrow, so he's gonna get out safely. It's gonna force out the teleport from Zadie. And we're gonna see the Dragon Knight kind of back off to his state. Looks like he's trying to go bot lane. The gate is down, so I'm assuming he's gonna try to take down this fountain. We're gonna see Medivh's actually base quest done. Samuro taking down Misha. Oh. Unfortunately, Caesar Sal took the hit the wrong clone. He's gonna really pay for it by not being able to kill it. But the cocoon goes down here. Oh, what might be happening here? Were they able to kill the Samuro? I don't think they will be able to. But yeah,
that's a good teleport.
Good teleport, and he actually gets a re-kill. Oh, the Samuro is way too tricky.
Rexar must be fuming.
I mean, like, what can you do, right? Like, you have to be kind of like pixel perfect with that stun. Like, I don't really blame the Caesar for missing that stun, because you really have to be so on point, right? Because all really Samuro has to do is mash his E, but Samuro really has to.
I'm not too sure if Rexar should be that close to them though. Like his Q range is actually fairly far. Like he would have been fine like standing relatively far away.
I guess he wanted the extra damage, but I mean, at the end of the day, it is unfortunately it was an error, you know, deemed over to Anti-Clown Association. So there's not really too much you can do. Oh, here we go. No, here we don't go.
Good swipe.
I mean, you can't really fight in that situation. You have the Stukov, and you also have the Slowy Sands from Chromie, so there's way too much AoE and like objective control on the side of Anti-Clown Association. So, you know, very wisely, the Aero 404 does back off from the situation. I think that was indeed a good call to not really fight for that, but Fuckofield's in a very sneaky place, and it looks like they just really want to try to get this Mercenary camp. They're going to hit the 13 soon, so I think this is going to be an instant give, and yes, they're going to give away their own Siege camp. No big deal, of course. It's just, unless something else goes down. It's a 4v4 down here, 4v3 actually. Phoenix is indeed in the mid lane, so should there be an engage here in the bottom lane, Arrow 404 would definitely be in the advantage. Of course, they don't have their ultimates, they don't have the Wailing Arrow per se, or the Arcane Rift. Oh, it's not Arcane Rift, sorry, what's called? Leyline Seal, right? That's what it's called?
Yeah, Leyline Seal.
Yeah, Leyline Seal, sorry. I kind of forgot what it was called. But yeah, they won't have those big ultimates for this fight, and yeah, of course, still without those ultimates, you're going to see here on the side of Anti-Clown Association really start on this Bruiser camp, really taking their map control lead and kind of pushing it to see them take a lot of objective control and a lot of camps here. And slowly their lead's really going to build if they keep taking camps like this. So we're looking for something here. Yes, here comes the Ice Wall onto the Phoenix and see if he's going to get stunned. Yes, he will. Here comes the Leyline Seal lockdown. Caesar Salad doing his best to peel, and he's actually going to successfully peel with the Cocoon. A good Ice Block from Pepper means not going to be stunned from the Caesar Salad engage. But this tower looks like he's about to go down. We see all 5 members grouped down here. Samurai's still in the top lane. So yeah, they're going to give this bottom fort. They don't really want to fight with a spell armor mercenary in the bottom lane. So they respectively give them the bottom tower.
Like, what I've noticed from like all these team fights and engages and skirmishes between the two teams is that so far Air 404 seems like they're lacking damage. Like, you would see all these really nice engages with the Leyline and the Ice Wall from Mei, but they don't have the damage to follow up with it.
Yeah, that definitely seems to be a problem as well. I mean, it's not like, like I said, when you have a Medivh Sylvanas in the bot lane, it's really not too much things you can do. And it really even in the later fights, because you don't have as much health. Oh, we're going to see a teleport coming here from Zadie, unless he's just going to here to teleport up to save Funds. Looks like Funds wasn't really in any danger. I guess he just really wants to teleport to make sure nothing bad happens. And are we going to see the 3rd capture in a row? No, we're not. No more 10-minute captures. Yeah, we're going to see the Samuro just start to take a little bit of the advantage here on the top lane. I mean, this is where Rexar starts to fall off against the Samuro. So they really got to start prioritizing their pressure top lane if they really want this top lane side of Rexar. And right now he's even getting Tower Dove. Yeah, like, this is, like, dude abides is about a 3rd health left with almost no mana. Oh, is he going to die from this? Oh. Very close.
That was good protect.
Oh. Goodbye.
Yeah. That was definitely a good kill by Funds.
Once again, I think he's just due to by not respecting it too much. But yeah, like, what can you really do to gank Funds? Oh,
he's done. He got stunned.
Yeah, so that was actually a really good stun from Caesar Salad. I actually didn't believe the stun landed, and they were able to get this pushing. You actually notice because Funds did go for the kill, he's going to lose his top tower because he never cleared this camp. We're going to see a faction here. Stukov getting taken down with a very good Wailing Arrow. And they're able to lock him down. Again, I don't really know why he was there. I didn't really watch that. I was more watching the Bruiser camp.
They seem to just be like out of position.
Yeah, so a very costly error on the side of Anti-Clown. So you really don't want to make these rotation mistakes in these later stages of the game. Because getting even a 1-person advantage can mean significantly a lot in the level 20s areas. Breakwood's going to face check this. Is he going to die for this? Oh, here comes the teleport from Zadie. Oh, unfortunately not in time. And now Zadie's in trouble, but Caesar Salad did not predict the correct pathing from Zadie.
So Sylvanas didn't get the heal, but Zadie still teleported.
Yes, that was a bit odd. And honestly, that was kind of bad face check. I guess you can't really face check Will Sylvanas. If you use your Banshees, you don't have a way to disengage, so I guess he was really stuck in a hard rock, a rock in a hard place there. Here comes Funds really accelerating this lead, and oh, we're gonna see Pepper here gonna show up for reinforcement. Dude abides in the bad spot. Zadie's here to take him down as well with the polymorph armor reduction. Now they're gonna lose the objective for it, but are they gonna get a kill? Funds is really trying to hunt for this. You know, he's looking very aggressive, but looks like he's not able to get it. Here comes the Phoenix with his ultimate. Does not get too much value. The cleanse comes in from Zadie, but the stun comes out onto Medivh. Pepper's in a bad spot thanks to the Cocoon, and it really isn't too much for Pepper to do here. He's going to do Ice Wall and just buy as much time as he can. And it's like he's able to get out, thankfully, so he'll be able to get out actually throughout this fight. Oh, unless Misha has something to say about it. Nah, Misha's not fast enough. But all this time, we have the Dragon Knight pushing in the bottom lane by Chromium. And actually, if Pepper does go down thanks to the Nubrak engage, unfortunately, Caster did miss that again. I'm missing so many of these actions today.
Yeah, Mei just got stunned by Misha, and she ended up dying because, well, Mei didn't have much help to begin with.
Yeah, so now we're going to see all 5.5 members here on this bottom lane here. They're going to really push for this keep. The chain CC comes down to Zadie, but that's not enough, so she get kicked away for her troubles. Buzz is doing his best to assassinate and really harass the backline. And here comes the Zadie teleport to really heal up funds again. A good leyline seal gets 4 members, but the keep still goes down. The Polymorph lands, plus the silence onto the Phoenix. But the Stu Call burst healing is once again too much, and Gottfield really just didn't lose any health at the end of that. We're going to see the action really continue here, but it isn't too much to fight for Anti-Console Association. They get their bot keep. They already have an advantage towards the level 20 race. There's no need for them to fight for about the next minute or two. They really want to get their level 20 advantage solid it down. While on the other side, Arrow 4 really needs to hunt this, as this is really the only time they could be somewhat equal level before they pick 20s.
Yep, definitely. They want to force a fight as soon as possible before 20 is reached.
Sun comes on to defund, but he really don't care about it. I mean, you have to teleport from Brightwing anytime. You're really in danger. Funz is going to be here. Oh, here we go. We might look for a fight here and contest over this Bruiser camp. But to be quite honest, I do think that Anti-Console should really give this up. There's no need for him to fight free 20s. But the Ice Ball only lands onto Nubrak. Here we go. Valimar's in a really bad spot. And so is the Sylvanas. He's in a really awkward spot. The Unleashed Boars comes out, slows everybody down. And the Mei is going to get taken down. The Medivh has been cocooned, so he really couldn't contribute too much. Samuro gets taken down as well in the back line. And this is just looking terrible on the side of Arrow 404. Yep. Ladies and gentlemen, we might see the end of game number 1 right here. And yes, with all 5.5 members strong on Anti-Console Association, they are definitely going to be pushing towards the core. And there's really nothing for them to stop as well. They have everything they need. There's nothing to stop them. And ladies and gentlemen, in more of a convincing fashion near the end, especially with that last team fight, even without 20s until later on, they were able to lock down game number 1. So kudos to Anti-Console Association for taking a 1-0 lead. GG and well played. So I guess we saw through that game that because the Anti-Console Association was able to get a lead with their early 2 objectives, and even though they weren't able to get a lot of, they kind of did have a commanding presence throughout the game, and they kind of really showed throughout the rest of the game.
Yeah, for sure. Like, you could especially tell this when, like, during the team fight top, like once the objective was already taken by Anti-Clown. Like, during that fight, you could see all 3 lanes being pushed by camps, like, against the team of Era 404. Like, during this time period, like, they were just fighting top and, like, losing the team fight while all these lanes were being pushed. The Dragon Knight was pushing bot keep. Like, you could just tell the macro game was just so much stronger in the side of Anti-Clown. And there's nothing you could really do about that on the side of Era 404 because, again, Medivh is not the best, like, clearer in the game. Samuro is busy fending off against Rexar, doing it quite well, having, like, the highest hero damage in the game at 63k, with Phoenix at 37k respectively. But overall, there simply just wasn't enough damage to finish off the enemies of Anti-Clown in, like, this game.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the Samuro pick did work fine, but it does seem that this game the Medivh wasn't really able to do too much, because I don't know, I don't think the Medivh did as much. You look at the damage charts, he's actually got out-damaged by Mei, so it seems that in this game, Arrow wanted to use the Medivh more as a damage mitigation than actual DPS, but you can clearly see it didn't work out the way they intended.
Yeah, definitely a Medivh pick didn't work out as intended for Era 404. They could have probably made do with either another damage dealer or like an actual bruiser.
Yeah, I mean,
because bruisers are very strong in this game. Even like not as a soul lane hero, they're still really strong in the format as well. Like Imperius is a good example of this.
Yeah, that is true. Imperius would have probably been better, but I mean, at the end of the day, we're not as good as they are. So maybe they tried this out as scrims and it worked out. Unfortunately, it may not have seemed this way in this game. But let's take a look at what is going to be happening with game number 2, ladies and gentlemen. because Arrow 404 did lose, they did opt once again for the first pick. So Anti-Clown Association with the map pick has decided we're going to be going to Battlefield of Eternity. Oh,
Oh yeah.
this is the map that we wanted to cast, and oh yeah, we're going to get it.
Feeling blessed.
Yeah, so I'm definitely excited to cast this as well. I mean, this map's definitely going to be spicy. We're probably going to see a lot of heroes selected that can do a lot of melting, I would assume, right? So probably the Vala, the Hanzo, Sylvanas.
Yep. The zoning tools and displacement heroes are also really strong in this map. Like taking advantage of the built-in stuns with the immortals. Like Alarak comes to mind with telekinesis.
I mean,
Like we'll also see probably a lot of poke heroes. Like Chromie again is very prominent on this map.
Indeed, yeah.
And just auto attack heroes in general.
We're probably also going to see a lot of displacement tanks. So, of course, I think Diablo would probably be picked here. The Johanna. Maybe we'll even see stuff like ETC. ETC kind of fallen out of the meta, but I'll be excited to see one being played in this game as well.
I'm skeptical that we'll be seeing one, but we can only hope.
We can only hope at this point in stage. We are going to get into game number 2's draft, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, the first pick advantage is on the side of Error 404. So we're probably going to see, I think, traditionally the same bands. Probably Lucio, Stitches, Vala, Junkrat. I don't think there's going to be any picks that kind of deviate from the game number 1. I don't think there's any also priority picks or bands that we're going to be seeing from both teams. More so, it wasn't that any picks were strong. It's just perhaps that Error 404 wasn't playing to their standards. So yeah, the Lucio ban comes in, so nothing is surprising here. I'm expecting we're going to see a Stitches ban as well. Maybe? Yes, no? What do you think?
Junkrat is still a really strong band here, so I'll be expecting to see him being banned here as well.
Yeah, we'll probably see the Junkrat ban second, like the second ban. So probably afterwards we'll see the Vala ban, Junkrat ban. So probably nothing should be changed here. I don't expect anything to be changed here. Should be some typical bans, but probably first pick we're probably seeing something different, right? We probably don't want to see the Sylvanas first pick. So if there was a first pick on the side of Arrow 404, I don't know what they want. Maybe Greymane? I think Greymane first pick might be too risky.
Greymane is typically not picked very early on.
Yeah.
And Sylvanas, like you said, mentioned, Sylvanas is not very strong here. Oh, so Arrow 404 ended up being the ones banning Junkrat themselves.
So this probably indicates they want the Vala for themselves. So I'm wondering if Anti-Clown is going to go ahead and ban the Vala, knowing that they have the first pick advantage. And no, they actually banned the Diablo. I did mention that Diablo could be a prominent pick here. But now the Vala is open. We shall see if Error 404 would definitely pick it up.
Oh, yeah, like I was just about to say, Vala is actually not the best race here because Monster Hunter is now moved to level 7, and it's typically not picked in that tier. Hanzo with the W build being very strong in immortal melting potential as well as hero damage based on how the map layout is structured, being able to bounce his W's off and deal critical damage much more easily.
Yeah, so we weren't really surprised about the Hanzo. Li Ming, definitely interesting, and Nubrak locked in. So Caesar Salad is going to be playing the Nubrak. Let's talk about this Li Ming, as she really hasn't seen as much playtime as other mages per se.
Yeah, Li Ming has definitely fallen off a little bit as of recent times, purely because her damage output relies so heavily on resets. She's like a win-more character essentially, and like that really only works well in lockdown comps, which is why a Nubrak is most likely picked because he is the embodiment of a lockdown tank.
Well, you know what counters lockdown? You play Anduin and you play Yrel.
Yep. Anduin, especially with the pull.
I mean, it's just, I think at this point they're really playing like a safe comp. Like, you even picked Hanzo, and Hanzo is really known for his range as well. So they really want to just don't look for anything, don't give any opportunities Clown to really give anything. So picking stuff like Yrel and Anduin to really cement themselves into the sustain department and disengage department.
Yeah, I see your point. Like, the Murden ban is actually really good because Anduin Light Bomb into Murden Dwarf Toss is pretty disgusting, to be honest. Because you could just jump in with Light Bomb, stun the enemy, use like the Storm Bolt, and be able to just chain lock stun them.
I will also mention that Murden is one of the best sustained tanks as well. Like, he really can just be in there and kind of just stay in there for a long time. You know, also with his second win, he can always recover his health should he need to back out and just join back this team fight momentarily. But we are going to see the Stukov ban coming off of Error 404. I mean, the Stukov really was a big impact in last game. You really saw how Valimar really popped off by healing Phoenix at a lot of times when he was low health back to full health.
Brightwing always been a really strong a very strong healer, being able to burst heal, sustain heal, and has a soft cleanse as well as movement speed boost and spell shield. All which is actually relatively good against Hanzo. She has also the ability to just polymorph whenever Hanzo tries to D away and like dash onto the other side of a wall and just lock down an enemy.
Oh.
Now that's interesting.
That is indeed. So we'll talk about the Gyarados when we see the last pick, which is going to be the Grey Mane. The Grey Mane is kind of like typical, so we're not going to talk about it. Let's talk about the Gyarados pick here, though. This is kind of interesting here.
It is definitely interesting. We might be able to see a Light Bomb and then toss that hero into the Light Bombed hero into an enemy team. That would be pretty funny.
That would actually be pretty funny.
Most likely we won't see it. We can only dream.
Yeah.
Because, like, Gyarados is not typically a hero that you use Light Bomb on, because he simply walks up towards an enemy, he doesn't really dive in. Oh.
We're gonna see we're gonna see the Shimada brothers going at it. Okay.
A full reset comp on the side of Anti-Clown.
So I do want to say back then, like probably like 2, 3, 4 years ago, this was indeed a really strong comp when you run both Li Ming and Genji.
It's typically also picked alongside Taunt Variant to like guarantee a quick lockdown.
Yes,
back
indeed. Now I do know because Genji is my most. I think it's not anymore, but Genji used to be one of my most played heroes. And I do know on this map, there's a lot of Genjis who like going Q build, because if you go for Q build, you do more damage if you land all 3 shurikens on a target.
Shingen.
Yeah, Shingen, that's what it's called. So that's actually pretty good Immortal Melt. And if you really look at the side of Anti-Clown Association, they really don't have any melt. I mean, it's nowhere near as good as Error 404, you know, with the Hanzo. Like, you're never gonna compete. But I guess it adds a little bit of race potential should there ever be a close fight. But we will talk about that later on, as we're going to be introducing the teams, ladies and gentlemen. On the left, we have Anti-Clown Association. We have Li Ming being played by Kelsier, Valimar being playing the Brightwing, Gotfilt is going to be playing his Genji, Dudabies on the Hogger, and Caesar Salad once again on the Unibran.
And on the right, we have Error 404 on the Gyarados. We have Funds, we have Breakwood on the Greymane, Zadie on the Anduin, Pepper on the Urel, and Mercy on the Hanzo.
Now, I think I just saw Dudabies uses Tornado in base. That's kind of very funny. But anyways, so let's look at this little sneaky play from Anti-Clown. They're looking to catch Urel on the rotation, or they're trying to get some objective structure damage. Let's say it is going to be the latter. They want to start sieging onto this bot side gate. They're not going to get too much out of it.
Yeah, it's a pretty safe play.
And we're going to see the whole team kind of rotate here. Zadie's in a very awkward spot, but the root landing onto Caesar Salad means that he's going to be safe relatively. And we're going to see them kind of go back towards the bottom lane, standard 4 bottom lane. 4 bottom lanes format.
Oh.
Oh?
Okay, yeah, Greymane was a bit out of position, but he ended up being okay.
Well, it's taking a lot of damage here from the Beetles, I think, and I'm assuming Kelsier threw a lot of damage onto the Gyarados as well. Let's talk about the level 1 while we're at it. There really isn't too much to be said here. I wanted just first thing, the thing that instantly caught my eye was the body check from Gyarados.
Yeah, we do see that a lot more often nowadays, because like, honestly, the Q talent and body check are relatively equal in power, and the body check also gives the ability to reduce healing, which is also pretty good for bursting someone down.
Okay, we're gonna see a 4-man on the side of Air 404. The toss doesn't really go the way that Funds wanted to. Now, I will mention though, Funds was playing the Samuro last game, but now he's actually switched over to the main tank role. And now Break was actually playing the... Wait, actually no, who was the... Who played the... Oh, it was Pepper. Sorry, it was Pepper that played the main, yeah. So I guess Pepper has moved to the side lane role now that you have put Funds to the main tank role. So really kind of interesting here. Really nothing else to note. Gothfield's in a sneaky spot. Oh, he's gonna get tossed a break. He does have his protect as well. Get away for the Hawk instead, and he does use his dash as well. So nothing wrong with getting extra insurance.
I like how compared to the last game, the issues actually switched in the sense that Anti-Clown actually lacks damage when compared to Area 404.
Yeah, we just see that. You just see this out almost melted by the Hanzo and the Greymane damage. And even just Hanzo and Greymane early on, that's a lot of damage to be melting a Nubrak especially. Now granted, Nubrak doesn't do well against auto attack as well as he should do against mages. You know, he still has a little bit of sustainability, but that really just disappeared in that moment.
Yeah, keep in mind that like Hanzo didn't even finish his level 1 simple geometry talent yet, so that wasn't even his like top damage that he could potentially like dish out.
Yeah, so a lot of potential that could have been there once the level 1 is completed. May I note that is the only quest you see so far. Oh, Valimar, good rotation towards the bottom. And does he? Oh, he's gonna get tossed. Oh, Valimar's in a bad spot. Yeah, he's gonna get. He is done. He is definitely done.
He's done. Yeah.
A very good attempt for Valimar to get out. I think he almost could have gotten out. That was very good pathing. But at the end of the day, when you see funds toss in that Hanzo, yeah, you know you're done for. I guess you can also try teleport away, but you don't know if Zadie has a root or not, so you don't really want to waste that high cooldown ability.
That being said, Anti-Clown did burn like the Immortal like halfway while the Brightwing was being chased.
But why the Mortal when he can also get a free kill on the Garrosh? Really left in no man's land while the team is bot lane clearing the camp. He kind of pushed up by itself and he really got punished by his positioning.
Yeah, I guess Garrosh's intentions was that if he gets too deep, he could just pop the Unstoppable and get out. But unfortunately, that didn't work out to his favor. Yeah,
he did use an Unstoppable actually during the chase onto the Brightwing, and it is a 40-second cooldown, so I think it actually wasn't even up when he walked towards back to his middle. But we're going to see a full shield, basically a full shield Immortal as the first objective in the game, which isn't very common usually.
That is very uncommon.
A lot of uncommon things happening with objectives in these two games, as we've noticed. And we'll see a pause here, so ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go back into the cast view while we figure out what the issue is. But we can kind of talk about this, and I'm going to really note that Anti-Clown Association has really been on top in terms of the objective capturing points.
Yeah, definitely. On
like,
both games.
A full shield Immortal really isn't something you see often, especially if it's the first objective without a wipe. Without like a team wipe, basically. So it's very, very difficult to see it pull off. Almost as hard as seeing 2 Dragon Shower objectives captured in 6 minutes. And almost a third one in 10 minutes, so...
Yep. Like, keep in mind, like, even though Brightwing did die bot, it took her a very long time to actually go down, giving Anti-Clown the ability to just wipe out half of the Immortal's HP before Area 404 even gets started. So kudos to them to making, like, the best out of a bad situation.
Yeah, I mean, if you really want to see Area 404 kind of step it back up, it's going to start with the objective. And ladies and gentlemen, we are going to get back into the game, so sorry for the delay. The game shall be starting momentarily. Here we go. The toss going on to Caesar Salad. But that's, I mean, it is a new. It's going to burrow back out. We're going to have this Immortal start sieging here in his 4v4 bot lane. Of course, Jarrell and Hager is not going to be a part of this conflict at all. The Fate is going to go down. And now the question is this keep going to go down? You see a very good ore from Kelsier. Kind of knocked down Mercy to about half his health. Zadie once again also taking a lot of damage. This is a very cheeky spot from Kelsier. Be able to just launch the orbs without any way to punish. I'm going to actually use that spot from now on. That's a very, very cheeky spot. But we're actually going to see the Pepper coming in with the reinforcements. Gothfeld's going to go in and try to pop his Dragon Claw, but unfortunately was not able to pop down funds. Here comes Duda Buys with the Hogger. Let's see if he's going to get a lot of value here. It looks like both teams really are just looking to disengage. Especially funds looking a bit low, so they really don't want to fight this. Let's talk about the level 7s here, Malios, now that we have a bit of time.
Yeah, we didn't really talk about talents this game at all.
So yeah, I of course we have seen the Dragon Claw in action. Actually, no, speaking of action, here we go. The toss is going on to see the Salad, but actually Garrosh gets instantly melted down. And here comes the Genji resets we were talking about. Those E resets doing significant in this team fight, and yeah, Breakwood's gonna be next to fall as well. So we're gonna have a 3-4-0 in the favor of Anti-Clown Association.
Yeah, well, during this downtime, we can finally talk about talents. Genji ended up going for a full W build, being able to like get shields off of his deflect, as well as charge up the Dragon Claw talent at level 4, giving him AoE damage.
I mean, you don't really see Genji go W build often. Like, a lot of people opt for these the E build or even the Q build. But yeah, W build is more unconventional because you don't do as much damage as you hope you would.
I will say Augmented Guard did get buffed in the recent patch, being able to deflect all, like, get a shield equal to 100% of the damage he did block. So it's becoming more popular as time goes by.
Indeed, so we're going to see the top lane Mercs being taken on the side of Anti-Clown Association. They're going to start sieging on this top fort here. Starting with the gate, of course. It's all 5 members up here, but Yrel is still soaking experience on the bottom. They are without 10, so they really need the XP badly rather than defending this top lane. Here we go, the toss coming onto the Nubrak, but here we go, Gothfield is really in the back line. See if he can do a lot to his Shimada brother, but he can only really do so much with W build. And then we're going to see the X-Strike actually come in on the side.
Yeah, that is pretty interesting. I was expecting the Dragon Blade, but it does make sense, given that they do have the taunt on the side of Era 404.
So yeah, the X-Strike definitely is a much more safer option compared to the Dragon Claw. I think it's called Dragon Blade, Dragon Claw. The taunt coming in onto Caesar Salad, but actually Fun's the one that's taking a lot of damage. The CC comes onto Nubrak, and here comes the teleport from Brightwing, and yeah, Fun's is going to be taken down. And the question is, who else is going to take him down in the backline? Dudabai is really working hard. Mercy actually get out, and so does Fun's actually both making it out alive there. I guess there wasn't enough damage, but look who's in trouble now. It is Zadie in a very bad place, and she is definitely going to go down. The Reset's coming in onto Gottfeld and the Li Ming as well. Pepper is knocked into his little cheeky corner, but really not too much else could be determined from this. So I actually didn't expect Fun's to live at all, but because Zadie was in a bad position, she was already gonna fall regardless. So she goes down for free, and you're gonna be healerless, sorry, for about the next 10 more seconds for Zadie to get back into the action.
Now, something I want to know is that Hanzo actually went for explosive arrows at level 4 instead of that W talent, which does more damage to monsters with the W, meaning that the race potential of Era 404 is much weaker than we had anticipated.
And here we go, the action is once again back onto the Nubrak. This time he gets instantly melted thanks to the lockdown from Garrosh and Greymane. With the Cursed Bullet value, does add a lot of DPS towards the Nubrak. They actually get something what they wanted, so that actually worked out.
Yep, able to pick off one enemy before the real team fight starts is very good. And yeah, you can tell since the side of blue needs to walk away.
Oh, here comes the Dragon Strike from Mercy, and the ultimate is not enough. The final auto attack chases him towards the grave. Yeah, and now this is where we're going to see Era 404 really trying to snowball their advantage. Oh, but a good orb actually gets the hop from Mercy. So Hanzo goes down, having his hop interrupted, and here comes the Cocoon onto the Garrosh. Now they have no front line here to really stop Breakwood from living. Yeah, Breakwood's going to go down towards the fight. The stun coming in from the Mortal Assist, and Pepper is looking to be in a very dangerous spot as well. But it looks like they want to chase instead the more immobile members of the team, of course, being Funz and Zadie. He's going to get the charity toss from the Garrosh, so he's going to both live. Euro's going to have to clear this bottom lane. Look at this Bruiser taking so much damage onto this bottom keep. Already a third of the health remaining on this bottom keep.
Wow. That's a lot of value.
Yeah, and here we go. Now that they know that there's people missing from this fight, they're going to be able to look for something here onto the Garrosh, but finding nothing. But that doesn't mean too much. Get the objective. This time, a little bit of shield. Oh, did you see what this Genji just picked level 13?
I actually like that talent myself, Way of Shimada. It actually adds a lot of extra DPS, before he dives in.
I just haven't.
Extra say attack range is really nice.
I just haven't played, so it's exciting for me to see Genji being played. Of course, when Genji was released, he was probably the most broken hero ever until he was nerfed basically to Oblivion.
His E range was absurd back then.
And you got resets even though you never used E, but now you have to kind of get a kill with the E shortly right after. You have to get a kill to get the reset. Oh. Here we go. Oh, Fun's really trying to look for something, but Valamar with the blink kill means that he's going to get out safely. Unfortunately, it wasn't a stun into the Immortal, so no stun coming out onto the Yrel. Oh, Goffield's looking for something here. I mean, he's really abusing his range onto these frontliners. He's going to get stunned here by Pepper. Yeah. Let's see if we can find a re-engage from Fun's, but he's going to get knocked away from the Calamity. Not Calamity, sorry, the... What's that even being called? Dragon Strike's going to kind of be unimpactful in this. This is kind of like a really scrappy fight. Oh, Hogger actually getting a very good engage. He's going to be able to tornado himself out of there. The Ardent Defender is going to be popped out. Oh, but stopped by the Kakumis. He's not going to be able to heal anymore. The taunt coming out onto the Hogger, and he's going to go down, but in exchange for Yrel. And now the reflexes are going to definitely come in. And this is where Li Ming and Genji truly shine. This is where they get kill after kill. Another one comes in onto the Hanzo, and it's going to be a 3-for-1 in favor of Anti-Clown Association, now knocking on the door of Era 404's.
Yeah, unfortunately, there seems to be some miscommunication with Era 404 because you saw the Greymia in trouble earlier. The Garrosh tried to like toss him away out of danger, but right away the Anduin pulled him, like wasting both cooldowns.
Yeah, so definitely this communication needs to be better from Era 404 if they want any hopes of winning the next game. This game is looking really dangerous for the side of Era 404. Here comes Pepper here. They're trying to look for something onto the Nubrak, but he has his burrow up, so he's able to burrow out without a problem. Body check goes out onto Nubrak. He's going to get the reduced healing, and here comes the taunt finally. A beautiful scatter arrow for Mercy. Deals so much damage. Unfortunately, the Dragon Strike misses. So it's Dragon or Dragon Arrow?
Dragon Arrow for sure.
Oh wait, those names really need to get changed, man. I need to start a petition to get this name changed, because it really feels like Dragon Strike should be the global ultimate, and Dragon Arrow should be the more DPS orientated ultimate.
Yeah, it definitely takes some time to get used to.
Indeed. So we're going to see the objective started here, I think on the side of Era 404. They want to get this advantage as early as they can. Of course, having a Greymane and Hanzo means you really want to try to snowball this lead with the Immortal race. And it looks like both teams are going to respect it, kind of go for the halftime approach as well. So, of course, we're going to see Era 404 win this halftime race as of now. Of course, Greymane and Hanzo, you really can't out-DPS with a Li Ming and Genji. But now here we go, level 16 versus level 14. We're actually on opposite sides in terms of the Immortal. Here we go, the Calamity goes instantly onto Pepper. He does have his Ardent Defender up should he need it, but looks like they really want to start racing this. And yeah, of course being the opposite side means that it's advantageous on the side of Era 404. The Burrow coming out onto the backside, and the stun. Wow, that's what you call a beautiful AoE lockdown. Unfortunately, the Immortal assist coming in favor of Anti-Clown Association means they're going to get basically a team wipe here. I think Breakwood's going to barely make it out. Nah, nice try. But Yrel still has the Ardent Defender, so it's possible that he's going to be ending. But I think he's probably going to die too here as well. Yeah, he's just trying to buy time as well. The Ardent Defender is popped. You notice them not hitting anybody at all. They really don't want to give him any more health. But why worry about the Yrel? Just go ahead and end the game, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to have all 5 members sieging onto the core. Pepper is just one man by himself. We're going to have the Garrosh and Anduin come back to reinforce, but they have no damage at all. And ladies and gentlemen, the core is going to hit 20%, 10, and 0. GG, and well played. So this Genji did a lot of work, and I mean really a lot of work. And I'm actually kind of surprised that he was able to get a significant value with this pick.
I feel like not enough attention is going towards the Li Ming, because I know we haven't mentioned much during the draft because we haven't noticed it, but Wave of Force value, like, it basically got a lot done. Like, during the last fight, she was able to displace the Garrosh, and I think it was the Greymane, I'm pretty sure, into the Immortal stun, stunning both of them, and allowing the Genji to extract both of them, and guarantee that both heroes die. And from there on out, like, Li Ming just snowballs out of control, getting full resets, being able to lock down more and more heroes.
Now, I think after this game, I think the really one big factor in the draft comes with I think the Garrosh pick really wasn't the greatest. Now, I do know what they wanted to do. They really wanted to just, like, lock down a person. I know the Diablo and the Stitches are banned, so that those are two other isolation tanks that really can't be used here. But, I mean, did the Garrosh really do that much there in that game?
The Garrosh's Warlord challenge really helped, in my opinion. It forced Genji into the X-Strike instead of the Dragon Blade. And keep in mind, they were able to lock down like 3 to 4 times with the Greymane Cursed Bullet combo as well. So I feel like it wasn't the worst. And also, like, Garrosh tosses, like, to save his allies, were pretty A+. Like, it's just unfortunate that Anduin also pulled while Garrosh was tossing, wasting both cooldowns, but I don't feel like the Garrosh pick was the worst in this game. I felt like, if anything, the Yrel pick wasn't very impactful.
Well, yeah, I guess Yrel really wasn't that. I guess they, like I said, they really wanted to be very safe with the Yrel pick and the Anduin, so you're definitely knowing that they're going to be picking more of a poke comp, but that kind of changed with the Garrosh and the Greymane when you're trying to go for this all in, kind of counteract the other all in. But with the Genji, I think the Genji last pick actually was pretty damn good. It just there really isn't a way for them to deal with Genji and Li Ming simultaneously, right? You can't really get both of the DPS feel under pressured throughout the game. It's more so that it's one or the other.
Yep, that's true. And like this is without saying that the side of anti-clowns I felt like just played very well. Like you saw the Li Ming whenever like Hanzo would jump over a wall, she would cancel it with Wave of Force, like guaranteeing a kill. Like these plays really make a game and really help snowball the side of anti-clown into their victory.
Yeah, we definitely see Kelsier with those Wave of Forces kind of disrupting Hanzo's jump. And it definitely helped a lot, you know, putting Hanzo in a bad place or even killing him at times really has just turned a team fight around when you lose one of your top DPS.
Yep, definitely. Like being able to kill Hanzo right there against a normal comp is already bad enough, but against a full reset comp, it just makes things even worse.
Yeah, so looks like Anti-Clown Solution is poised for a 3-0 here. I'm hoping that Era 404 kind of picks up the pace and kind of, you know, fight back, especially, you know, since they're so behind in the playoff race. I really do hope they kind of like step up the pace here, maybe try something new and inventive, you know, or trying to play one of their secret team comps, you know, something like that.
Yeah, hopefully we do see more from them, and like we have our hopes up. Like they did have a lot of potential, don't get me wrong, and like their comps make a lot of sense, and in general they did play quite well. It's just sometimes like it's just unfortunate that Anti-Clown is just more coherent and they're more together, and it seems like their teamwork tends to work a bit better.
Indeed. So also once again, also like I said this many times throughout the series, but it is really a very big aspect where the objective control early on in the game is very much on point on the favor of Anti-Clown Association. But, ladies and gentlemen, we are ready to get into game number 3, and we will just quickly show you what map we're going to be playing on. Of course, once again, Error 404 has opted for the first pick advantage, so Anti-Clown says we're going to be taking you to another objective-based map, this time Infernal Shrines. Now, Infernal Shrines definitely has seen a lot of changes throughout, you know, its history of the game, more so that the meta kind of shifted at which Punisher was optimal. Back then, it was indeed the Arcane Punisher, but more recently, with the changes to Tower, the Frozen Punisher has definitely taken up to be the number 1 spot. But either way, objective on this map is crucial. And showing the Anti-Clown Association's success with early objectives has really been kind of like a map pick on the side of Anti-Clown.
I'll say there is one caveat to that, in that for the first objective in this map, there are teams that tend to just give it up in favor of like map macro and just camps and being able to get value elsewhere. Because the first objective, especially if it's not Frozen Punisher and if it's Motor or even Arcane, it doesn't really do that much if you don't have like the pushing power to back it up.
Yeah, so there are strategies where you perhaps play the Sylvanas and Greymane, give up its first objective. In the other alternative, they want to get siege damage done. But we shall see if actually. But first, we're gonna have to take a look at the draft. Once again, the first pick advantage is on the side of Error 404. Now, what typically good heroes are usually seen on a map like Infernal Shrines, Malios?
Definitely just AoE damage and just like since this map is like enclosed in a circle, you don't want heroes like Li Ming where her skill shots would be like mitigated by like the surrounding like minions. You want heroes like Dehaka, which is just AoE damage and would hit anything in his way. And Dehaka is just really strong in general in this map because he's able to like we've mentioned earlier, his globals are really strong. His ability to latch onto targets, isolation, like to silence. He's just really strong as a solo laner, as a gank hero, and as a lockdown hero.
Indeed.
Hogger also being really strong in this map, being able to spin literally in circles, like clearing the objective infinitely, if you get the angle right.
It also seems that the Hogger is a respect ban. I mean, you saw it was due to Bides with his Hogger last game, and he was really like putting a lot of work. Like I did see a lot of good engages with his ultimate, but also a lot of good disengages. You know, because sometimes getting disengages is
Yeah, his ults were really well done, and he definitely like tilted the game onto Anti-Clown's favor.
Well, the other bans are, you know, kind of normal. Once again, the Vala is up, but already off the gates, we're going to see something more unorthodox, and Uther first pick.
It's likely going to be either a double healer Uther or a main tank Uther with a supplementary healer alongside of him. Uther is very rarely played by himself as a solo healer, especially as a first pick.
Yeah, I mean, the kit of Uther that kind of provides for the team really isn't meant to be kind of doing a healing, but more so the setup or the playmaking capabilities is seen on Uther plays. But speaking of plays, we're going to see the Vala locked in and the Blaze.
I want to talk about the Vala right off the bat because not only is Vala just a really good hero in general, but like you also denied Era 404 from picking up the Vala because Vala is typically paid with double support comps, which is being suggested by the side of Era 404. So kudos to them. And yep, instead of the Vala, since it's being picked, they chose to go with the Zul'jin, being probably the second best DPS option.
Now, I know Malios, you are a great Zul'jin enthusiast, so I'm pretty sure you're very happy to see this locked in.
Yeah, definitely.
But
however, Zul'jin pairs very poorly into the Blaze because Blaze does have a talent which reduces auto attack damage by 50% when the enemy touches oil. So that's something to keep in mind.
Was it a Kerrigan ban? I don't like the Kerrigan ban, more so that
I do. I think Kerrigan's a good ban here. Not only is this her best map, period, like not even close, like just being able to constantly spam your Qs on the objective. Like the side of Era 44 definitely needs some engage tools. Like no matter how good Uther is as a main tank with a supplementary Stukavist, they need someone to engage. And Kerrigan offers that supplementary engage tool, being able to stun targets as well as pull them in, as well as like shove them into an Uther and Stukav combo.
Anna checking in.
Okay, so I mean the Johanna is kind of typical, but Anna is also kind of interesting because we actually haven't seen a lot of Anna at all.
She's definitely fallen off.
Yes. So Anna has fallen off in the meta, but there seems to be a resurgence here. It looks like Valimar really wants to pick it up. What are your thoughts on this Anna pick actually?
Well, right off the bat, there are still healers, which are still really good. Which are still open, such as Brightwing and Anduin. But keep in mind that since it's a double healer comp, Anna's like anti-heal, like grenade, would like get much more value here. Especially since Uther would definitely use his burst holy light healing on himself as a main tank.
Indeed, yeah. So the anti-heal is going to be very, very crucial in team fights, when especially when, like you said, there are two heals. But Sonya and the Zeratul lock in now. Sonya is, of course, one of her best maps, is indeed Inferno Shrines, with the ability to really clear the objective minions really fast. And Zeratul is also more of a hit or miss hero, in my opinion, whereas you either kind of pop off with it or you just really don't do too much throughout the game. And we're going to see the Falstad last pick here, selected by Anti-Clown Association.
I will say that the team of Era 404 does need extra damage because Zul'jin will not be able to get what he wants done due to Blaze's attack speed slow and Johanna's blinds. So Zeratul is just supplementary damage. Also, it's just a very classic combo. I mean, not combo, my bad. A very classic counter to Vala and Anna, as they're both very squishy, and Zeratul has the ability to just burst them down, even with Q build.
Yeah, so Falstad, Vala, and Anna in the backline is definitely prone to surprise attacks from Zeratul, so they're going to have to be careful, especially when Zeratul hits that late game stage where he has his insane VP value and his immaculate damage with his Q.
Overall, I still have to give the draft to the side of Anti-Clown purely because it's just too reliant on the damage dealers to be popping off on the side of Era 404. And Anna, as non-meta as she is now, like the grenade from the anti-heal would probably prove to be detrimental to Era 404's comp.
Indeed. So we are going to get into game number 3 here, ladies and gentlemen. On the side of the left, we have Anti-Clown Association with Gottfield playing the Falstad. Valimar is going to be playing the... Is that the... I can't even see. That's the... Anna, sorry. Duda Bai is going to be playing the Blaze. Caesar Salad is going to be playing the Johanna. And Kelsier is going to be playing the Blaze. Not the Blaze. I am actually a mess. It is
Vala.
it is the Vala, yeah.
Well, very quickly on the right, we have Era 404. Funds on the Zeratul, Pepper on the Sonya, Mercy on the Ufer, Zadie on the Stukov, and Breakwood on the Zul'jin.
Yeah, I'm such a mess, bro. How did I mess that intro up so badly?
It's okay. It happens to the best of us.
It does indeed.
Well, right off the bat, we see the like the anti-heal build coming out from the Ana instead of the sleep build we normally see on her.
I mean, Ana kind of has two typical builds. It's just
That's
indeed
true. That's true.
the W or E build. I mean, if you want to play DPS build, go ahead.
Also,
Starling.
double blind charge talent at level 1 for Johanna.
Oh, we're gonna see fun. There's a lot of damage to Valamor. Of course, one of the weakness to the Ana pick, good sleep there. One of the one of the weaknesses to Ana is that she doesn't have a lot of self-healing abilities. Now, the only way to really self-heal is with the Biotic Grenade, but if you're using it for an offensive tool, chances are you won't be able to heal yourself with it.
Not just like Biotic Grenade, also auto-attacking your enemies, but at lifesteal as well.
Yeah, so you want to go for that quest. And here we go. You start a 5-man. Yo, that's a lot of anti-heal, ladies and gentlemen. That's gonna be a lot of dead members on the side of Air 404.
What is healing?
Exactly. Who needs 2 heals when you can't heal at all? A beautiful bio grenade. I think it landed onto 3 members, and of course the beautiful oil from the Blaze. Really be able to get that rotation down and kind of lock down this invade from Air 404.
Yeah, you saw like Uber try to hold it like himself with the burst healing, but it just got completely cancelled out by Ana.
Yeah, so I mean, Fun's taking a lot of damage here from the Falstad. Now, Falstad also has been a hero that's seen a lot of reworks, so you're going to see a lot of damage coming out from Got Filth now. And I wouldn't be surprised. Oh, I am surprised to see the auto attack build coming out from Got Filth, especially now you also have another auto attack member on your team. So opting for more auto attack instead of more of a magic based build is kind of interesting, really.
I will say that Frequent Flyer and the AA build is much stronger than the Q build.
Oh, we're gonna see an invade here on the side of Era 404's side of the map. The anti-heal comes out onto Mercy here, but of course Uther is really in the no man's land. He's gonna instantly go down. So a successful invade on this side on Association, and they pick up a kill on the side with the siege camp.
We would also like to mention that very quickly Sonya is being picked out.
Pepper is getting peppered with damage. She's gonna get roasted alive by Duda Vines and Got Filth, and that's another kill coming out on the side of Anti-Con Association. And they really started to snowball once again the early lead, but this time not on objectives, but rather on kills instead. You see a level 6 to now level 5 advantage on the side of Anti-Clown, and it's only gonna keep going higher. This gap should this game progress in the way it is.
Yep, I was just trying to mention earlier that Ufer is still, like, despite being main tank Uber in this game, is still a very squishy hero. And without the healing abilities, with Ana being on the opposite side, he'll very likely be picked off more often in the future.
Yeah, he is also opting for the Q build Uther. I do know that main tanks Uther like to go for the auto attack talent at level 1. So
it's making Resurgence, Silver Touch with main tank. That being said, it's still kind of useless against anti-heal, regardless.
Yeah. So here we go. The engage is coming out onto Air 404. Here comes the gank from Duda Bias looking for a good stun, but only gets 2 members and nothing else.
Out.
Yeah, so they walk back out and want to focus on the objective. Like we've seen before, you want to see a lot of advantage when it comes to Anti-Con Association to retake on the objective. Buns is actually in a pretty good spot to get a lot of damage in with his Q and blink out, and yeah, he gets a good cleave there. A beautiful W from Brick gets a lot of damage, and now Kelsey's in a really bad spot. Really no health and no mana. Here comes the fly from Gotfield. Here we go, the gauge is coming in. Onto the target is Breakwood. He's gonna go down. Taken out from the back line, as you've seen with the low health bars, means that he's gonna go down as well. But it is a 2-for-1 advantage from Anti-Con. Make that 3-for-1. So we see the global Falstad really coming into play here with the advantage to rotate earlier from the top lane. So they really can't do much except to kind of trail behind slowly, and yeah, that really was indeed a factor.
Yeah, for sure. Speaking of the Falstad, you can just tell that the macro game is stronger on the side of Anti-Cloud, being able to just rotate across the map. Blaze also opting for Journalist Impact as the level 1, meaning that he is much better at clearing waves as well.
Yeah, so we're going to see the first Punisher to be the Arcane Punisher, so not one of the best Punishers to start off with. It's going to do some damage. It's going to do some damage here onto the gate, and probably nothing else more to the fort itself. So we're probably not going to see too much action, of course, unless the Punisher gets a good stun. And Fonza, here we go, doing a lot of damage onto Kelsier, losing half his health. That's a good slow here but he's able to walk out just barely. We're actually going to see the talent completed by Vala in level 1, which is the Fire at Will. And we're also going to see Sonya actually solo kill onto the Falstad. That is a very, very hard solo kill to get. Unfortunately, I was not able to catch that. Sorry, guys, in the chat. But that is very, very impressive regardless.
Yeah, unfortunately I didn't catch it either, but I do bet that Poison Spear at level 7 has something to do with it, being able to just burst down Volso, who is a relatively swishy hero.
I'm probably going to assume that Sonya probably caught the... What is that thing? That E call? I don't know what that E is called from Falstad, but that dash thing.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Speaking of dashing, here we go. The strafe coming in actually from the Vala gets a kill there. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen. A 3-4-0 10 advantage. No, you don't really want to fight when you don't have level 10s. And we're going to see this bottom fort really start getting sieged here. I mean, you're up 3 members here, so you have to take this lead and really, like, get something with it.
Oh, you see that all these stun ults coming out from the side of Era 404. You see the leap and you see the Divine Storm. So they're mostly trying to go for an AoE stun lock burst down comp. Alongside with the Void Prison.
Indeed, yeah. So they really want to just lock down a target, but I'm actually afraid of what they're trying to do because at level 13, Ana has access to the Smelling Salts, which is a ability that reduces stuns or slows or roots.
But that only works if she's not stunned herself.
Yes, but I mean that's kind of what the Zero tool is meant to do, right? Even though Zero, I mean I like this. Ana really has to be careful in the late game because I do know that the Ana into the Zero tool is really, really bad for Ana. Cause
it's really sketchy for Ana, definitely.
Not to mention, you are talking about the Zhu Jin, so he is going to infinitely stack, even though he's only at 7 stacks right now.
Yeah.
Which is a bit
infinitely
low.
Infinitely stack, asterisk.
Oh, we also see the double build coming out from Zhu Jin. He's going to go for the Arcanite Axes.
Yep. Very standard so far from the side of Zhu Jin.
But I think relatively all the other talents are kind of like expected. There really isn't too much surprising to talk about. So we just put away the talents for now. While
we can talk about Ana's Nano Boost and how it's mostly going to be used with Strafe, with Vala.
Yes, that is going to be a spicy combo. Fun's trying to look for something here onto Goth Filth, but he is not going to do anything else besides do a little poke damage. Here comes a reinforcement for Era 4 trying to force this situation here onto the Pulse. But Goth Filth has a lot of awareness. He is going to back up. But here comes a Siege. He does have Gust, so he could Gust them all the way to buy time. But here we go. The reinforcements are finally here. Johanna is here. Here comes the fly from Gottfeld. Now their team is in a bad position with Gust potentially can ruin the day of Era 404. But he is going to get swiped. Yeah, he's going to get swiped away. Here comes the Gage onto the Uther. He has his Divine Storm landing only onto 1 member. The Leap also landing onto Valimar. He is going to go down to sleep landing onto Uther. BP is going to stop 2 members from moving on this side of Anti-Clown. They're going to get out, and they're in a really bad spot. Without a healer, their health is only going to go down from here on out. But here we go. Kelsey trying to do the best, but the Taz Dingle, baby. What can you do against Taz? And the False is going to get locked down.
Unkillable.
Yeah, you actually cannot kill an unkillable, and it's going to be 3-4-0. So we talked about this Ana getting caught out, and once again, it really isn't too much he can do. He did get leaped, followed by the 0-2 damage, and this is where the comp really starts to shine. Of course, Ana being one of the squishiest healers out there.
Yeah, we could see Blaze trying to save Ana with the bunker drop being pulled beside her, but unfortunately Ana just got picked off too fast for her to jump in.
And now we're going to see a lead when it comes to the objective race. Of course, 13 minions picked up from Era 4-4, with many more to come as Emperor is really hammering away, or should I say peppering away. I like saying that for now.
That's terrible.
Here we go. The Gage coming out. A beautiful cleanse from the Uther means that Zayd is going to get saved. And the burst once again comes out to Valimar with 20 HP, and that is catastrophic, ladies and gentlemen, because that is where the time where Anti-Con is able to get back into the action with no fear of Ana getting picked off. They're able to lock down 2 members, and now Funds is in a bad spot. 3 members going down. This is almost a team wipe, ladies and gentlemen. Uther doing his best to heal up Funds. This is a 30-6 objectively, so there is potential for them to try to steal it, but I am sure that they're ready for this, and Funds is just say, yeah, I'm trying to compete for this. I'm going to back off, and we're going to get the objective once again to Anti-Con Association. And I don't think actually this entire game there's been objective taken from Era 4-4, if I recall.
You talk about like all 3 games.
Yeah, I don't actually recall Air Force
Yeah,
404 taking a single objective.
they haven't. Not on Dragonshire, not on BOE, and definitely not yet on this map.
So it really is a dominant showing from Anti-Clown in terms of the objective department, really getting every objective locked down. Of course, it's the Mortar Punisher, so it is not frozen, which means that he's not going to be able to get as much value as a frozen Punisher. Do some damage, take down this middle fort, and he's going to start sieging onto this middle gate. But he should only really get middle gate and nothing more. Let's see, we're going to see if Mercy's going to lure this jump. Oh, a beautiful stun. Zujin's going to get stunned as well, but Stukov and the Uther are doing a lot of healing onto Breakwood. Oh, we're going to see here the top lane actually taking down the Falstead. A good flank from Funds and a good VP followed by a good leap. Means that he's able to go down. But speaking of going down, Uther gets locked down by the chain CC from Blaze and Johanna. And there he's able to be taken down as well. Here we go. Funds is trying to look for a lot of things. And here comes Sonya without the leap actually. But Valimar's once again looking very low. You see this Sal's doing his best to really peel the damage. And oh wow. Oh wow, indeed, 0-2 does go down. Kind of a surprising kill in my opinion. Here comes the target onto Zadie. She's going to have her trait and she's going to heal it back up to a point that she is going to be alive. But yeah,
Yep.
0-2 going down is actually quite pivotal.
Just several things I want to talk about. First of all, Ana staying alive because of contact healing at level 1. Being able to burst heal herself when allies are nearby. And you saw like 0-2 try to burst her down, but like she got half her health pullback simply from pressing W on herself because Vala and Blaze was beside her.
I guess we could talk about the talents right now. Sound like we do have this downtime. Is there anything of note here, Malios? I don't really see too much.
Something to keep in mind is Zueljin giving up on the W build because he is nowhere near finishing U1 Axe level 14, so he's instead opting for Let the Killing Begin at level 16, giving him up to 40% attack speed, depending on how many minions and heroes he killed beforehand.
Yeah, very surprising to actually see Breakwood still at 14 stacks. It's very, very low at this point in the game. 12 minutes, you probably should be close to finishing, or
You
at
should
least
be done by now.
yeah, like either you're done by now or you're close to finishing. Really, there's really nothing else to like kind of like. I guess Breakwood really hasn't had a chance. He only had his chance to kind of get stacks in that top the lane fight, where he kind of did pop off a little bit against Avala, but really there hasn't been another opportunity for him to get auto attacks off.
Yeah, definitely. It's been definitely a rough game for him.
Oh, we're going to see a potential flank position coming out from Air 404, but Anti-Clown really doesn't want any of that. They want to get the... Looking for a fight now from Anti-Clown is not wise, as they can definitely just get a lead should they just hunt for their level 20s.
Oh yeah, definitely Zueljin has been having a hard time.
Oh,
with
Season
16k
Salad
damage.
doing his best. And this objective, this camp is still relatively healthy. We're going to see them kind of disengage from it, I think. And yeah, I don't think they want to fight for this at all. Falstead is in a good position to get a good gust off should they want to get a fight in. You see, no, like, Godfield is in an interesting position. I don't know. Yeah, they're just going to give this. Very wise from Anti-Clown to really not give him anything. You know, a Bruiser camp is a very, very small thing to lose, especially at this stage of the game. Because if they give 2 or 3 kills over, the game's suddenly even again, and you don't really want that.
Yeah, definitely, like, in that one team fight which Anti-Clown lost, the XP bars all of a sudden became equal, with both teams on the verge of being level 14 at the time.
Oh, we're looking for an engage here. A good cleanse once again from Mercy, but that is all she's going to roll. Unkillable is going to get proc from the Zueljin and do his best. But yeah, he is definitely going to go down. Oh, a good Divine Storm means that they can't be able to walk up. But a good flank from Caesar Salad, and yeah, it looks like Zueljin is going to go down. Zeratul is doing his best in the backline to harass as much as possible, but he's going to walk straight into the Johanna, and without a blink, he is probably going to go down as well. Yeah. So now it's become a really disjointed 3v5 fight with really Pepper and Mercy doing all the damage here. There's no DPS on the side of Air 404. They're going to do his best to disengage, but it looks like Uther has nothing more for this lifetime. He's going to walk away in his healing form.
Yeah, mid keep down for sure. And perhaps even an objective afterwards.
Maybe even the game.
I don't think they can end though.
No.
They can't end.
Yeah. Damn, Caesar Salad really wanted that globe. I mean, it'd be like that sometimes. Sometimes you just want that globe. Level 20s are finally picked up on the side of Anti-Clown. We're going to notice the Nano Infusion from Ana really going to snowball this this spinning to its highest potential.
Yep, Infinite Vala with that lifesteal.
It's gonna be
That's definitely gonna hurt.
scary.
Ooh, root on false head.
I mean, this Zojin. Not sorry. Yeah, the Zojin does 0 damage right now, so
Yeah, he's not stacked. He's only at 20k damage.
it's
All
not
his
even
free time.
close.
Oh,
Yeah, you just take a look at the damage chart, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna see. Yeah, Zojin only at 20k, which is really nothing compared to like the Vala, the Falsetto, even the Johanna. Actually, even the Ana the Blaze out damaging the Zojin. So yeah, this Zojin really hasn't had time to pop off at all this game.
yeah, it's unfortunate how like the enemy team kept on diving him, but it just shows you how effective Anti-Clown is as a team.
I'm gonna see them actually just take the bottom siege camp. I actually don't like this. I think they should have taken the other camp. Should this game not end, they might have a slight advantage. But we're talking about a frozen Punisher 16 minutes into the game with no
It's
gates.
possible to end. It's
I
like,
think this is gonna
late
be
game frozen, level 20s, keep is exposed.
This is definitely looking towards an end of a game and potential 3-0 from
They
the
do
side
have
of
VP
Anti.
to stop.
Yeah. But yeah, it looks like they're just gonna get jumped by the Punisher. They're gonna give away this keep, but unfortunately, the Punisher is still gonna march on. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen. The core is being sieged by the Punisher. Doing his best with the benediction, but doesn't land the Divine Storm. And oh my goodness, this is where Vala gets popping off. He's gonna keep spinning with the nano, and yeah, this is all she rolls, ladies and gentlemen. Everybody
Yeah,
getting
like
rooted, everybody getting stunned. Taz Dingo is being popped, but what can Breakwood do at this point? She's gonna go down as well. Fun's doing his best, gonna get a retaliation kill on Valimar. But Goffelt and the Punisher is gonna say, we'll take this 3-0, ladies and gentlemen. Anti-Clown is gonna be able to get the clean sweep. GG, and well played.
GG's indeed.
A very, very convincing win in game number 3, in my opinion, from Anti-Clown Association. Really was able to snowball their early lead and kind of solidify their team comp. On the side of Era 404, they did really try to assassinate the Ana, and they came definitely close in a lot of situations. They actually did assassinate Ana, but that's really all the time, all they were really able to get in these situations. You know, Ana only going down twice actually, so it's not even like, it's not like a lot of times they went down often. Even notice that Johanna and Blaze has not even died yet this series, while Uta has actually died 9 times in the last game. So it's
Like
definitely an interesting way to see this.
For sure, like the same issues we saw from Era 404 last game can be also seen in BOE, where once they are able to lock down a target against the side of Anti-Clown, they're able to like win the fight from there on out. But however, if they fail to lock down a single target, they tend to get out damaged and lose the team fight from there on out.
Indeed. So we're going to try to get an interview here, ladies and gentlemen. You can take a little numbers, watch how they coordinate an interview. See if we get somebody from the side of Anti-Clown in here. Hopefully we get an interview. I mean, it is a relatively quick game, so we're probably not going to have a lot of interview questions for the side of Anti-Clown. And we are going to get interviews, so Malice, I'll see you in the NGS chat.
Sounds good.
Alright, so we are just waiting for the member of Anti-Clown to join us. But yeah, it was a relatively 3-0. I'm actually kind of surprised that it did end in 3-0 fashion. I did definitely think the Era 4-4 had potentially a little bit more in the tank to kind of push it to game number 4 or even potentially game number 5. But at the end of the day, I think it was just the chain CC in game number 3 was proven to be too much. But now we're going to Captain Kelsier from Anti-Clown Association. Now, first of all, congratulations on your 3-0 series win tonight. How are you feeling and how is your team feeling?
Thank you. Yeah, we're feeling pretty solid. Those were some fun games, and we got to play some fun comps too.
Yeah, indeed. So let's talk about game number 1 quickly because it was played on Dragonshire, and I will say you guys really were able to get a lot of the objective power very early on in the game. But later on in the game, you showed a bit of weakness towards the Samuro, especially in the top lane where Dudabites was fighting the Samuro with the Rexar. So when the Samuro started to get a lot of more traction, a lot more power, what was your team trying to do, or what were you guys trying to accomplish to kind of counteract that kind of play?
Yeah, so I mean the Samuro pick's kind of, I guess, one dimensional. It's like it's to counter Rek'Sai, right, to get the point and kill him. And really, I mean, what we kind of struggled for a second there, but what our ultimate game plan was just to like win through bottom and mid, because Samuro has pretty awful double set. Just win macro pressure and team fight pressure through bottom and mid, and then we can, if we have the bottom fort, for example, we'll have bottom point like the entire map, and then we can 4-man rotate for top point and just get DK after DK, and that's the strategy against Samuro. You don't really want to like rely on Rex having to do it. You want to get mid prio and bot prio, and then extend the lad's top to get the point.
Yeah, so it definitely, you were able to kind of maneuver around the Samuro, and you were able to take game number 1. Game number 2, you decided to go for a reset comp, and especially like the Genji pick. So you kind of talk about how the draft went, and did you really want to play the Genji? Was this your intent at the very beginning of the draft? Was it something that you kind of practiced with in perhaps scrims, or is it something that you kind of just pulled out of nowhere and say, hey, we want to try the Genji?
It's certainly something we're comfortable with. Yeah, I kind of shuffled down to just they had 3 really squishy backline and a pretty bad peel tank, so Genji just kind of farmed there, and it worked out. We weren't like dead set on Genji at the beginning of the draft, but it was like ridiculously good into what they were showing, so we sent it.
Yeah, for sure, and it definitely got Phil has showed his prowess on the Genji, so kudos to him. Yep. And game number 3, it was perhaps one of the more interesting ones where you decided to go for the Ana, more of an unorthodox healer, and you get instantly counterpicked by the Zero tool. So that definitely means that Ana is going to get a lot of harass from the Zero tool. But was that something that you were okay with? Is that something that is like, hey, I'm just going to give up my life as an Ana, and you guys just rain hell from above?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Valimar was certainly struggling. Like he kind of had to be like in the gate, but he also had to heal us. It was very, very hard for him for an Ileana game. And yeah, kind of just what ended up happening was their engage was either Zeratul killing everyone with a VP or Sonya getting a massive leap. And pretty much as long as Ana gets like the nano off on Strafe, and if they dive on Ana, then we just counter kill everyone like with Strafe and Blessed and stuff. And if they dive anyone else, then Ana can like cleanse them with 13. So yeah, Ana was kind of like a perpetual sacrifice. But we also did have the reason we picked Falstad last was to have Gust counterplay to like when they go all in, we can just Gust, reset, get out, and win any future fights.
Oh, indeed, and you were able to definitely win the game number 3 as well and take the 3-0 win. Malios, do you have any further questions for Kelsier here?
Nope, I'm good on my end.
All right, perfect. So before I let you go, Kelsier, is there any shout-outs you want to give to your friends or any fans out there?
Yeah, for sure. Shout out to my team for bringing a good set, keeping me in the reins. Shout out to the enemy team for putting up some good games. That was fun tonight. Obviously, got to get the shout out to the Lord of Twitch himself, twitch.tv/freepx, the arbiter of all destruction and pain and evil and all greatness too. And shout out to you guys. Thanks for casting.
Awesome. Well, congratulations once again on your 3-0 win. I'm going to let you go for the evening. So best of luck throughout the rest of the season. Hopefully we get to cast you in the future, perhaps in playoffs. But until then, I wish you the really best in the future games.
For sure. All
right, have a good evening. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that is indeed the captain himself, Kelsier. And they're, with this 3-0 win, they're really starting to look as a really strong playoff contender. So with a few games left in the season, we hope to see them once again succeed. But until then, ladies and gentlemen, that is it from us. We are now done for the evening. So I hope you guys really enjoyed the cast. I had a lot of fun. I'm sure Malios did as well. We are going to, I'm assuming, end the stream unless we're going to get a raid confirmation. But if it's a raid or the stream ends, doesn't matter because we are going to leave for the time being. You can cast us on our next cast, which is going to be on Thursday at 8 p.m. Pacific. We're going to be casting a heroic match. So if you guys do enjoy the commentary, feel free to come visit us again on Thursday to see some more high-level gameplay. But until then, that is it from us. I hope everybody has a wonderful evening. And until next time.